The greatest moments in sports happen when an athlete beat the odds. The races that stay in our memory are the ones where victory seems impossible, where the finish line is in sight, the leaders appear untouchable, and then, in the final moments, something incredible happens. Throughout history, athletics has given us unforgettable comebacks. Paul Ehring's stunning finish in the 800 meter at the 1989 World Indoor Championships in Budapest, which shocked the world as he stormed to victory from behind. Mike Franks' last-second surge in the 4x400 meter relay at the 1985 World Cup in Canberra was another moment where the impossible became reality. Ibrahim Ceylan's 10,000 meter victory at the 2011 World Championships in Daegu saw him outkick Mo Farah, proving that endurance combined with leaving some energy in the tank can lead to victory even in the final strides. But among all these moments, one stands out as one of the greatest finishes in relay history. On August 17, 2014, at the European Championships in Zurich, French sprinter Floria Guei delivered an anchor leg in the women's 4x4 100-meter relay that defied belief. Taking the baton in fourth place and trailing by nearly a full second, she was too far behind to be considered a contender. Yet, in a strong display of speed, endurance, and willpower, she surged past her competition in the final meters to secure a gold medal for France. This is the story of that legendary race. In track and field, a comeback requires more than just speed. It takes incredible mental strength, patience, and the ability to execute a perfect race plan. Sprinting events, especially the 400 meter, demand precise energy distribution. A runner who starts too fast will run out of energy before the finish line, while someone who waits too long to accelerate may not have enough time to catch up. Athletes who pull off historic comebacks must strike the perfect balance between endurance and timing. The best runners are able to stay calm under pressure and push their bodies beyond their limits when it matters most. Floria Guei's performance in Zurich wasn't just about running fast, it was about knowing exactly when to unleash her full power. With just 100 meters to go, she was still behind 3 runners who had posted faster times than her in the individual 400-meter event earlier in the championships. Yet, in a matter of seconds, she changed everything. Her ability to keep her composure and execute a perfect finishing sprint is what made this comeback so extraordinary. France has a long history of delivering breathtaking relay performances. Time and again, their teams have produced thrilling finishes at the European Championships and beyond. One of the most famous moments in French relay history came in the 1969 European Championships in Athens. Olympic champion Colette Besson ran a legendary final leg in the 4x400 meter relay, battling against Lilian Borde in a race still considered one of the most dramatic relay finishes of all time. 2 decades later, at the 1990 European Championships in Split, the French men's 4x1 100-meter relay team stunned the world by setting a new world record, proving that French sprinting was among the best in the world. Another unforgettable moment came in 1998 when Christine Aron ran one of the fastest anchor legs in history, securing gold for France in the women's 4x1 100-meter relay in Budapest. Despite these historic victories, no one could have predicted what would happen at the 2014 European Championships in Zurich. The 2014 European Championships took place in Zurich, Switzerland, where the best athletes in Europe gathered to compete for continental titles. France had already secured 9 gold medals, but no one expected the women's 4x400 meter relay to be the most thrilling event of the competition. The French team, consisting of Marie Guyot, Muriel Hurtis, Agnes Raharalahi, and Floria Guei, was strong, but they were not the favorites for gold. The teams from Great Britain, Russia, and Ukraine were seen as the dominant forces in the event. As the final leg of the relay began, France was in 4th place, trailing the leaders by nearly 1 full second. In a race of this level, a gap that large is usually impossible to overcome. No one could have predicted what Floria Guei was about to do. When Floria Guei received the baton, France was far behind the leaders. At this level of competition, making up a full second in a 400-meter relay final is nearly unheard of. The 3 leading teams, Ukraine, Great Britain, and Russia, were battling for gold, completely unaware of the storm that was about to hit them from behind. Floria started with a strong pace, but she didn't rush. She kept perfect form, staying focused and balanced. As she entered the back straight, she was still 9.71 meters behind. By the time she reached 200 meters, the gap had grown to 12.08 meters, making the situation look even more hopeless. But while the other runners started to slow down, Floria was only getting faster. With 100 meters to go, she shifted into another gear, increasing her stride length and running at over 29 kilometers per hour, making her the fastest athlete on the track. With 30 meters left, she had reduced the gap but was still 6 meters behind. With 20 meters left, she passed Russia's Ekaterina Renzina, securing at least a bronze medal for France. With 10 meters left, she surged past Great Britain's Margaret Adeoye, putting France in silver medal position. With just 2 strides to go, she caught Ukraine's Olha Zemlyak, crossing the finish line in first place. Floria didn't just win, she won by the smallest margin possible. She leaned forward at the finish line with a 37-degree tilt, shaving off 0.05 seconds from her time. This small movement gave her a 41 centimeters advantage over second place. Her relay split was 49.70 seconds, nearly 2 seconds faster than her personal best. It was the fastest time of anyone in the race. The crowd erupted in disbelief. Commentators and analysts were stunned. France, which had been written off just seconds earlier, had pulled off one of the greatest relay comebacks in history. Floria Guei's comeback was not just a gold medal winning moment, it was a defining performance in athletics history. Her ability to execute the perfect sprint when it mattered most has been studied by sports analysts and used as an example of mental and physical excellence. The victory also reinforced France's dominance in relay events, inspiring future generations of runners. Even today, the video of Floria Guei's finish is watched by millions. It remains one of the greatest moments in track and field history, a reminder that in sports, as in life, it's never over until it's truly over. When the odds were against her, Floria Guei didn't just fight back. She delivered one of the most legendary finishes the world has ever seen. Floria Guei's comeback was special for many reasons. First, the sheer distance she made up in such a short time was almost unheard of at this level of competition. Closing a 12-meter gap in the final stretch of a 400-meter race is extremely rare, especially in a relay where runners are typically exhausted by the time they reach the final stretch. Second, she wasn't competing against weak opponents. The 3 runners ahead of her had all posted faster times than her in the individual 400-meter event earlier in the championships. They were elite sprinters, yet she overtook all of them in the final seconds of the race. Third, her performance was not just fast, it was scientifically perfect. Analysts later studied her stride pattern and found that in the last 20 meters, she increased her stride length by 16 centimeters, while also increasing her stride frequency by 18%. This combination allowed her to cover more ground than her opponents while using less energy. Finally, her famous lean at the finish line was the key to victory. Floria had never been known for leaning at the end of races, but in this moment it gave her just enough of an advantage, 41 centimeters, to secure gold for France. Her comeback was an example of perseverance, strategy, and mental strength. Floria Guei's comeback in the 2014 European Championships is one of the greatest moments in athletics history. When the odds were against her, she refused to give up. Her performance inspired future generations of runners, proving that no matter how far behind you are, the race is never over until you cross the finish line. Even today, her finish is watched by millions, studied by coaches, and remembered as one of the greatest relay moments of all time. In sports, as in life, it's never over until it's truly over. Floria Guei's performance in Zurich was more than just a win. It was proof that with enough heart, anything is possible.